Seeing the texts from another woman on her husband's phone, Nalan suspects he's cheating. But instead of blowing up on the spot, she plays it cool, watching him closely. As she expected, Sedat gets a call shortly after, claims he has urgent business, and leaves. Nalan heads to the restaurant address in the texts, hiding behind a pillar, ready to catch him cheating. To her horror, the man meeting that woman is none other than her father, and their interactions are disturbingly intimate. Just then, Mama calls Nalan to ask how she's doing, mentioning that her father is out walking with some ambassadors. Nalan realizes her father lied. Unwilling to hurt her proud mother, she hurries to end the call. She returns home and confesses to her husband that she'd snooped on his texts and gone to find Kana. Sedat knows she's suspecting him of cheating, yet he turns the tables on her, accusing her of distrust and insists he has nothing to do with Kana. Overcome with guilt, Nalan spills the truth about her father and Kana's meeting. Sedat is surprised to hear that and simply shifts all blame to his father-in-law. He claims he'd known about the secret relationship but kept quiet to spare her feelings. Nalan is fully convinced. Any doubt that Sedat and Kana are involved vanishes. The next morning, Nalan visits her parents' house and overhears her dad cooing Kana's name over the phone in a sweet tone. Panic strikes. She fears her dad might really be looking to replace her mom with a young stepmom, and she loses her composure. Storming into Kana's house, she cuts to the chase. "From the first time I saw you, I never liked you. My gut says you're a loose woman." She even suspects her dad might be the reason Alp and Kana are getting divorced. Kana brazenly accuses Nalan of disrespect. "I've never been with anyone but my husband. Your father and I are just friends. He's like a spiritual mentor to me." Though Nalan doesn't buy it, without proof, there's little she can do. At lunch, Sedat mentions that his brother Muzo has a girlfriend. Mrs. Koroglu is thrilled. Her once reclusive son has finally opened up to love. Eager to meet her future daughter-in-law, she tells Muzo to invite his girlfriend over for dinner. To keep the lie alive, Muzo asks Melissa to keep pretending to be his girlfriend, briefing her on his family's likes and personalities. In reality, Melissa comes from a poor background. To pay for her paralyzed mother's treatment, she works multiple jobs, a hospital nurse by day, a call girl by night. Muzo only knows she's poor. Worried his parents might object to their class difference, he invents a backstory for her. As a wealthy heiress born and raised abroad. As repayment, he gives her all the jewelry and luxury clothes she wears while playing the part. That evening, Melissa, dressed in a style mimicking Nalan's, arrives at the Korogla house in a luxury car. Stunned by such opulence, she feels a surge of envy, and from that moment, harbors a desire to marry into the wealthy family. She chats and laughs effortlessly, reciting every detail Muzo has told her and smoothly claims she comes from an elite family in Germany. The whole family rejoices that Muzo has found such an exceptional girlfriend. Even the ever-picky Mr. Koroglu is thoroughly impressed. When Melissa brushes her hair aside, a tattoo on her neck is exposed. At the sight of the 17, Sedat breaks out in a cold sweat, horrified. The man is shocked to discover that the call girl he once hired has actually become his elder brother's girlfriend. Caught in an awkward bind, he doesn't know what to do. Mrs. Koroglu excitedly asks when the wedding is going to take place and urges them to have a baby. Sedat quickly steps in to stop her, asking their mother not to pressure the couple. The whole family falls into an awkward silence, confused why he's interfering. Muzo seizes the chance to offer to send Melissa home. But just then, the chauffeur Harry walks in. Both Muzo and Melissa are instantly on edge. Harry lives on the same street as Melissa, and he often helps take care of her paralyzed mother. He knows full well the truth about her impoverished background. If he blurts it out, everyone will find out Muzo has been lying. Muzo jumps up abruptly, blocking Harry's view. He snaps at him, roaring that he has no right to barge in uninvited and ordering him to get out immediately. The family has never seen Muzo fly into such a rage. They all freeze in place. Harry, feeling wronged, explains that he just wanted to give Mr. Koroglu an amulet and had no idea there were guests. Muzo emphasizes that he is his boss. Harry is just a driver whose job is to obey unconditionally. "Don't think because father's nice to you, you're part of this family," Muzo sneers. Humiliated beyond words, Harry quits on the spot. Mr. and Mrs. Koroglu, both fond of the elegant Melissa, suggest she take a job at Sedat's new hotel. Everyone agrees, except for Sedat. He stumbles over his words, saying they know nothing about this woman, don't even know if she truly likes Muzo. It's too hasty. But in Mrs. Koroglu's eyes, a girl as refined as this could have no bad intentions. She lays down the law. As long as she's the one Muzo likes, I'll back her all the way. Whoever opposes this will have to deal with me. She admits she didn't care enough for her disabled son when he was little, and now she'll do whatever it takes to protect Muzo. Unable to stop his mother, Sedat turns to Muzo, begging him to end things with Melissa. But when Muzo asks why, Sedat can't bring himself to say he'd slept with her. Instead, he mumbles, "There's something off about her." Muzo ignores him, of course. So Sedat decides to target Melissa directly. One day, the pimp calls Melissa, telling her a client has specifically asked for her services. He orders her to get to the hotel within an hour, threatening to fire her if she doesn't comply. Needing the money, Melissa has no choice but to take the job. A country girl slips into the 5-star hotel restroom with a bag, shrinking timidly. But when she emerges, she's transformed into a modern, glamorous woman. She pulls out a key card and saunters into the room with a seductive air. Yet the moment she lays eyes on her client, she's completely stunned. It's her boyfriend's brother. It turns out Sedat not only knows Melissa is an escort, but has even hired her services before. He sneers at her, calling her shameless and saying someone with such a sordid identity isn't even fit to be a servant in his house, let alone marry into it. Then, with a smirk, he slaps a stack of bills onto her. He warns her to take the money, break up with his brother immediately, and stay out of their lives. Otherwise, he'll make sure she regrets it. Unable to bear the insult, Melissa snaps at him. "Who do you think you are, calling me cheap? Do you really think marrying a beautiful, kind woman washes away your own sinful past?" Sedat is instantly furious and pinches her face, taunting that she is just a body seller and has no right to talk to him like that. Melissa can't stand it any longer, whips out her trump card, and turns the tables. That day, Sedat was so drunk he remembered nothing, but Melissa secretly records videos during her services, just in case she needs leverage later. Melissa threatens to go public with the footage, warning Sedat that if he utters a word, he'll suffer the consequences too. They'll both go down in flames. She promises to keep his secret only if he stays silent and supports her in marrying Muzo. Sedat panics, never expecting she'd have such an ace up her sleeve. With that hold over him, Melissa begins to pursue her dream of becoming a wealthy family's daughter-in-law. The next day, Melissa goes to Muzo's house without his permission, chatting with his family and trying to win them over. Both Muzo and Sedat have secrets she can use against them. Neither dares to kick her out. Mrs. Koroglu keeps pressing Muzo to hurry up and get married. She's eager to have a grandchild. Muzo, growing impatient with all the talk, makes an excuse to take Melissa outside. He's furious at her for acting on her own. Melissa wears a look of hurt and lies, telling him it was Mrs. Koroglu who called to invite her over. Muzo warns her, without his permission, she must never go near his family. If their secret gets exposed, they'll both be ruined. However, his words do nothing to deter a woman desperate to escape the slums and change her social class. Meanwhile, Sedat is consumed by panic. If they really get married, he fears he'll be at Melissa's mercy for the rest of his life. So he arranges a meeting with a pimp, complaining that he was thoroughly dissatisfied with Melissa's services the previous day. He claims she broke professional ethics by recording a video and demands the pimp get the footage back for him, or he'll ruin his business. The pimp hurries to meet Melissa at a restaurant, yelling at her for being stupid. Sedat is the son of the country's richest man. How many lives do you think you have, daring to threaten him? Melissa insists she never recorded a video, claiming she was just bluffing to scare Sedat. After all, with the power and influence Sedat's family wields, if they wanted to hurt her, it would be easier than squashing an ant. She says she only did it to make him afraid, to keep him from messing with her. The pimp thinks this makes sense, and decides to take the chance to blackmail Sedat for some extra cash. On the other side, ever since he started secretly contacting Kana, Dad has been in remarkably high spirits. Mama notices something's off with him. He's always in a suit and tie, but lately, he's been dressing like a young boy. He's even put his phone on silent. It all leaves Mama feeling suspicious. While Dad's in the shower, she sneaks a look at his phone, only to find he's changed the passcode. Dad thinks he's hiding things well, but the smile that creeps onto his face when he texts Kana gives him away. Mama catches sight of it and knows there's definitely something going on. One day, Dad hides in his room, chatting with Kana on the phone, savoring this brief moment of joy and vitality, completely unaware his wife is right outside the door. That night, Mama confronts him, demanding to know which woman he'd been talking to. Dad lies that it was a colleague, and they'd been discussing work. He even turns the tables, accusing his wife of not trusting him after 50 years of marriage, claiming it breaks his heart. His honest words of affection soften Mama's anger, but her suspicions refuse to fade. Hoping to ease his wife's suspicions, Dad texts Nalan, asking her to back him up, to say he's not in contact with any other woman. But Nalan had seen him shaking Kana's hand intimately. Besides, she's terrible at lying. She'd never fool her mother. So she turns to her friend Biller for help. Biller works at the same company as Dad, so she technically counts as his female colleague. Biller trusts Dad's character. She's sure he'd never cheat. That afternoon, Nalan brings Biller home with her. Biller tells Mama the company recently opened a new hotel, which has kept everyone swamped. Even after work, employees have to stay in touch to handle urgent tasks and meetings, so texting and calling colleagues is totally normal. With the misunderstanding cleared up, Dad excuses himself to handle some documents, slipping into his room to call Kana back. He turns down her dinner invitation, saying his wife has been keeping a close eye on him lately. He reassures Kana that he values her deeply, begging her to give him some time. They'll meet again once the heat dies down. Biller happens to be passing by on her way to the toilet and overhears the ambiguous conversation. She's shocked that the old man who's always so prim and proper is actually a total hypocrite. Mama notices Biller's pale face and asks if she'd seen a ghost in the bathroom. Biller lies that she has a stomachache, but Mama isn't so easily fooled. She knows Biller must have seen or heard something. Thinking back to her husband's strange behavior lately, Mama worries he's gotten mixed up with evil spirits. So she starts brewing a potion to purify his soul. But as she's carrying the potion upstairs, she hears Dad on the phone again. Kana is pouring out her troubles. Alp has a terrible temper. He hits and yells at her, and he won't even give her living expenses. She wants to leave him. Dad feels sorry for her and promises to introduce her to a lawyer to talk about divorce. Standing outside, Mama catches snippets of the conversation and mistakenly thinks her husband is talking about divorcing her. Overwhelmed by emotion, she stumbles backward and tumbles down the stairs. Luckily, she isn't seriously hurt. The doctor says she has a broken leg, puts it in a splint, and tells her it'll come off in 10 days. Mama sends everyone else away, then tells Nalan everything she'd overheard. She orders Nalan to drop all her work and keep a close eye on Dad, every move he makes. The next day, Nalan secretly follows her father in her car and sees him emerge from a flower shop with a bouquet. Yet, instead of going to meet someone alive, Dad heads to a cemetery she's never been before. Nalan is very confused because she has never heard of anyone she knows being buried there. Hearing this, Mama is horrified. She snaps at Nalan, forbidding her to go in and ordering her to turn around and head home immediately. Nalan agrees outwardly, but after hanging up, she sneaks in anyway. After all, her parents' reactions are just too strange. She finds her father mourning at a grave, looking deeply grieved. Little does Nalan know, this is the resting place of her biological mother, who is also Dad's daughter. She has no time to dig deeper, though. She must follow her father as he leaves. At the cafe, she spots Dad sitting across from Kana and is convinced they're having an affair. Tears stream down her face. The only person she's ever trusted has done something so sordid and shameful. Dad tries to explain, but Nalan won't listen. After lashing out at her father, she turns on Kana, calling her an immoral woman. Utterly disgusting. Dad defends Kana, telling Nalan not to go too far. Their argument escalates. While Kana sits calmly watching the drama unfold, she might as well have a bucket of popcorn in her lap. Thankfully, a lawyer walks over. It turns out Dad has been secretly helping Kana get a divorce, trying to assist her in fighting for custody of her children. He has no idea Kana has been using him all along. Nalan scolds her father for meddling. She has so many men. Why do you have to find her a divorce lawyer? Dad flies into a rage, accusing Nalan of being just like Mama. Suspicious, neurotic, driving people crazy. If you keep this up, your whole life will be stuck in darkness. Nalan is utterly devastated by the blow. I can't help but marvel at Kana's scheming. This ploy of turning people against each other is truly masterful. What's more, Kana even asks Dad for money, citing financial hardship. Overcome with sympathy for this poor woman, Dad not only sends her a sum of money, but also offers to cover her legal fees. After calming down, Nalan apologizes to her dad for her impulsiveness, then presses him about who's buried in the cemetery. Dad avoids her gaze, stammering that it was a good friend who died in a traffic accident when he was young. Nalan senses something's off and runs to ask her mother. Mama dodges the question, brushing it off as a friend who died of illness. It's a stark contrast to Dad's story about a traffic accident. Clearly, one of them is lying. Thinking back to a strange incident from a few weeks earlier, Nalan is convinced they're hiding something from her. It happened when tabloids spread slanderous rumors that Nalan was pregnant out of wedlock. The nanny called Nalan, urging her to come home, saying Mama had locked herself in her room and wasn't answering the door. Worried her mother might take her own life out of shame over the scandal, Nalan asked the driver, Harry, for help. But the door was sturdily made. No matter how hard Harry tried, he couldn't break it down. Harry had no choice but to climb a ladder from the first-floor balcony into the room. Inside, though, there was no one. Only a box on the bed, some children's items, and a letter. It was the letter Nalan's biological mother had left for her. But just as Nalan was about to check the contents of the letter, Mama rushed in and interrupted them. It turned out Mama had run to the basement, overcome with longing for her deceased daughter, to clean the items her daughter had left behind. Mama scolded Nalan for being stupid. "Do you really think I'd lock myself in a room to kill myself over a silly scandal?" she fumed. When asked about the cemetery, Mama grows unusually agitated, evading the question, exactly the same reaction she had when Nalan asked about the box. Nalan tells her friend everything, guessing the letter holds something important, but Mama won't let her read it. Her friend's words jolt her. Didn't Harry climb into the room first and stay there a while? Maybe he read the letter. Nalan rushes to ask Harry out and asks him what he saw when he entered her mom's room that night. Harry replies that he saw a letter, but knowing it was someone's privacy, didn't read it closely. However, he does clearly remember a flower crown in the box, with magnolias pinned to it. Nalan is stunned. There's a magnolia tree in her backyard. This can't be a coincidence. There must be a connection between the two. Nalan feels she's on the verge of the truth, but lacks the courage to face it alone. So she invites Harry to go to the cemetery with her. To their shock, the inscriptions and photo on the tombstone have been chiseled away, an appalling disrespect to the dead. Even though Nalan still doesn't know who lies there, she's certain her parents are hiding an astonishing secret from her. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage and you'll see more recaps of Camdaki Kiz. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.